Welcome to everyone. Myself Surendra. I am from Magnecu Software Java Fullstack Trainer. Now here I am going to explain about one very important concept, concept in Java, that is nothing but polymorphism. Polymorphism. Now observe very clearly here. Polymorphism is nothing but an object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle is nothing but polymorphism. Coming to that polymorphism, there are mainly two types. Coming to that polymorphism, there are mainly two types. What are the two types of polymorphism is nothing but first one is compile time polymorphism. The first one is compile time polymorphism. The second one is runtime polymorphism. The first one is compile time polymorphism. The second one is runtime polymorphism. First of all, polymorphism is nothing but you can observe in the name only it's there. Poly means many. Poly means many. Morphs is nothing but forms. So polymorphism is nothing but many forms. So here also polymorphism is nothing but an object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle is nothing but polymorphism. In polymorphism there are mainly two types. The first one is compile time polymorphism. The second one is a runtime polymorphism. So coming to that compile time polymorphism, the compile time polymorphism is also known as early binding. Okay. Next up, after why it is also compile time polymorphism is also known as early binding. It means here the execution will be done before execution. So here the binding will be done before execution. So that's why this compile time polymorphism is also known as a early binding. Here the runtime polymorphism is also known as a late binding. Okay, now late binding. Why late binding means here the binding will be done at the execution time. So that's why this is also known as a late binding. Next, after that here this early binding, otherwise we can say compile time polymorphism. It is also known as here we can say okay. Otherwise here coming to the compile time polymorphism. This compile time polymorphism can be achieved by method overloading. Okay, compile time polymorphism can be achieved by method overloading. Next, after that coming to that runtime polymorphism. This runtime polymorphism can be achieved by method overriding. Okay, method overriding. Okay, now this is the story. Now observe very clearly. I'll give you coming to that interview point of view. In the interview point of view, maximum companies is asking about real-time examples. Okay, now give me one real-time example for compile time polymorphism and give me a real-time example for runtime polymorphism. Okay, now here I am giving one funny example about this method overloading, or we can say compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism also. In the interview point of view, they can ask the questions on polymorphism is nothing but directly they'll ask what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding, or they can ask like this, what is the difference between like early binding or static binding. Okay, like that also they can ask. Okay, now next after that, now observe very clearly here, method overloading is nothing but observe sir very clearly. For example, here one student is there. Okay, one student is there. Coming to that student, students with the family. Okay, students in a family, he will talk like today class is today class. Okay, now a class is very good. Okay, otherwise class is not good. So like that he will talk. Same student only coming to that friends. He will talk like something like yesterday night brand was not good. Today we'll go through that some new brand. Okay, something he will talk like the brand. Same boy only. Otherwise same student only coming to Hyderabad. Then he will talk. He will behave something like different. Okay, now so here observe very clearly, same student, okay, now same person, or we can say Java wise same object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle is nothing but compile time polymorphism. Okay, now an object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle. This is nothing but compile time polymorphism. Then here this compile time polymorphism can be achieved by method overloading. Next, coming to that method overriding. Method overriding is nothing but, now in this case observe very clearly. Otherwise, first of all I'll write one program for method overloading, then we'll go to that method overriding also. So here I'm creating one class. Okay, here I'm creating one class. My class name is demo. Okay, my class name is demo. In this class, method overloading is nothing but developing multiple methods in a class, same name, but here we have to pass different parameters. So here I want to create one method. So here I am using public void m1. This is my method. Okay, now this is my method. Next one method. Next after that here I have to create multiple methods. So public void m1. We have to create multiple methods, but we have to pass different parameters. In this case there is no parameters. Here also there is no parameters. No, this is method overloading. No, not a method overloading. Why? Because here we have to pass different parameters. So for that here I am passing one parameter int a. Next after that here I am creating another one method, public void m1 method. Here I am passing some other parameter. Okay, like this. In this case, observe very clearly here. I am developing multiple methods with the same name. Okay, m1, 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 same name, but passing different parameters is nothing but method overloading. If you perform execution also, so for that here I am creating main method, public static void main string array of args. Okay, in this case this methods, all methods are non-static methods. So non-static methods means we have to create an object. So for that here I am creating an object, demo d is equal to new demo. So like that here I am creating an object. Now I want to call the methods, d dot m1 method. In this case I am not passing any parameters. So now we'll get the output of first method. Next after the d dot m1 of something, here I'll pass int a is there. So I am passing some integer type of data. Now we will get the output of second method. Next after that here I am calling d dot m1 of some string type. So here I am passing some Java, okay, a string type data. Now we will get this method output. In this case we can observe very clearly, same object only, d, same object, and method names also same. Here whenever we are calling the method, first method we are getting the output is non-parameterized method. The second method, here we are getting the output of int type method. Next third method, here we are getting the output of string type method. So same object only showing different behavior at different stages of life cycle. Is nothing but compile time polymorphism, or we can say method overloading. Okay, now coming to that method overriding. Now method overriding is nothing but, now observe very clearly, method overriding is nothing but child class acquiring the property from parent class and changing its implementation according to subclass is nothing but method overriding. Here also I'll write one small example. For example, here I am creating one class. Okay, here I am creating one class. My class name is a parent class. Okay, here I am creating parent class. In this parent class, I am going to create one method. For example, public void marry method. Okay, here I am creating one method called marry method. So here I am writing system.out.println of I am writing some name called Sheila. Okay, next after that here I am creating another one class child class. This child class extends parent class. Okay, now child class extends parent class. In this class, now observe very clearly. Now here parent class one method is there. That method name is marry method. In this child class, I am acquiring that marry method. Okay, in the child class, I am acquiring that marry method. I mean, I am overriding that method. Public void marry method. In this marry method, observe very clearly. In this marry method, here we have Sheila. Okay, now I mean simply I am saying parents said you go and marry with Sheila. But here I want marry, but I don't want Sheila. Okay, now I want that parent class method, but I am not satisfied with the parent class implementation. In this case, here we can go through that our own implementation. So system.out.println of something, whatever the name you want, we can go through that Maya. Okay, now this is nothing but overriding, acquiring the property from parent class and changing its implementation according to child class. This is nothing but method overriding. Here, if you want to perform the method overriding, inheritance is mandatory. Without inheritance, we can't perform the method overriding. Okay, this is the